Baby, I am so glad that I checked this microphone. I was talking for 10 minutes and it was not recording a sound. The green light was on, but it was not, there was no sound on the video. And I was talking for 10 minutes and I was like, "Ooh, let me check this microphone." And lo and motherfucking behold, it wasn't recording audio. I am so glad that I checked that because I would have been so terribly upset had I recorded a long ass video and it was no audio. Yeah. It's no telling what I would have done. So I'm glad I only talked up 10 minutes and it was about two little frivolous topics. Um, I started to talk about Taraji P. Henson and I was like, let me make sure this is recording. The first one I talked about was Gilbert Arenas trying to talk about Halle Berry and how I really didn't want to hear anything he had to say because Gilbert Arenas is a terrorist and he is sent here. He is one of those whose mission is to create chaos, confusion. There's no reason for you to be sitting on anybody's internet talking about Halle Berry and whether or not she has um, offered sexual favors in exchange for movie roles. We already know what this industry is and how predatory it is and how it works. So we're not going to play these games with Gilbert Arenas. We're not. And then my next other story was that what's the baby's name? Blue Ivy was seen at the Kardashians' Christmas party, and the people are saying that their mind is blown by it. And I basically was saying that your disdain for Kim Kardashian, you want to project that onto Beyonce in hopes that Beyonce hates her too, and she doesn't. Um, and I think all of that started when Kim and Kanye got married, and Jay Z and Beyonce did not go to the wedding. But based on the music, Jay Z has expressed to us that he and Beyonce were not in a good place. So they didn't want to go to nobody's wedding. So those were the only two stories that I talked about, and see how I sum that up in 2 minutes. So it lets you know that I'd be running my mouth and just talking for no goddamn reason at all. Ryan Clark got on down to the internet and said that um, what we saw with the Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles, we are twisting what we saw. Here is some of what he had to say. We're just going to listen to a little bit of the gaslighting, okay? So much love in their eyes, and every time they looked at one another, you can tell how beautiful it was to them. But everyone is now twisted and taken that and made it something negative. What people haven't done is watch the entire show. We did. That she wasn't scared, and that once they finally went on the date, it was history from there. Or listen to him talk about their 2020 conversation while she was at the Olympics, as he encouraged her that she could be okay. And when she wasn't, the time he took away with her, even getting married during that time. And now Simone Biles is back to the Simone Biles we know. He talked about the way Simone Biles has changed his life, how much she has helped him, how much their love and their journey and their story is all tied together. So what has happened is people sitting in their homes, whether married or unmarried, are now worried about this man and his relationship. Instead of being happy for two people who are excited to be together, two people who support one another wholeheartedly, we've now decided to pick apart one clip instead of learning the whole story. So the moral of the story is this. If Simone Biles is happy, why aren't you? If Jonathan Owens is happy, gaslighting, why do you care how they start or what jokes they make? This is a couple that has found their own way, and they found their way to one another in a very unique fashion. And just because you feel like he should be worshiping the gymnast Simone Biles doesn't mean that you can't respect that he's in love with the woman Simone Biles. Man, that's their relationship. And if they could... Okay, that was the end of that. It's not all of that. What he's saying is like that's like the kind of like a example of gaslighting. So the truth is that he said the first thing he noticed about her were her followers. Girl, what? Um, and then when he finally said, like, when he finally gave her props for what she could do, he never did give her props for her athletic and her accomplishments, athletic ability. Even though he's an athlete, you would think like two athletes, the way that Sonia and her husband, the way that two athletes, they would be like, yeah, she motivates me. She's great. Not that I didn't know who she was, but this is gaslighting. They made fun of him as soon as he walked through the door. They were talking shit. They talked about his school. We watched the whole interview. The idea that you think, and more than likely, the majority of people are not going to go actually and watch the whole interview, but a lot of us did watch the whole interview, and we saw the rest of it, and it's as cringe as the clip that made it around the internet. Let's see, read what some of the comments say. Let's see. I said, because we watched the whole interview, I have two comments on here. I said, y'all laughed talking about y'all didn't even know his school mascot, sunned that undrafted free agent for damn near the whole interview. They even exhibited more respect for Simone than what's his name did. Insecure, mediocre athlete wanted to attach himself to greatness. And I said, this is what annoys me. Don't don't ignore the gaslighting they're doing, as if what he's doing wasn't trying to humble his more accomplished partner in front of a group of men, where he's otherwise a mediocre athlete. He had to show out. Men perform for other men. And what way to perform by talking about how he didn't know who this woman was? An Olympic gold medalist, world renowned. Then fixed his face to say, I'm the catch. After he just told us how mediocre his entire athletic career has been. Don't play in our faces. Someone else said, the moral of the story, we didn't know he existed until he married Simone Biles. Another one is, why do y'all care? Why do you even have time and energy to do so? The same time and energy that they took to ask them those questions. Why did you ask them questions that you felt were, if discussed, would be irrelevant? Why did you ask them those questions about how they met? How did you bag Simone Biles? That's what the question was. Because how could a nigga like you, who is, this woman is great, the best, how did you, why would they ask him that? Why would they ask him, how did you, nigga, bag Simone Biles? Why would y'all ask him that? Because y'all have the respect, and he didn't even know. I didn't even know who she was. And I was the motherfucking catch. Because it doesn't matter how many accomplishments she has. It only matters that she's a good wife. Because the only time he gave her props is talking about how well she can cook for him. And he did say, I will give him, he did say, like her hard, something about her working hard. And the first thing he noticed about her were her followers. And he went to look at her profile, and her profile, I don't know on Aria what her profile was, which is like a celebrity or a dating site for high profile people, public figures, so they can have some anonymity. They don't need to be out in the public like on a regular site. So they have these, celebrity, high profile public figure dating apps. And you had to know Simone Biles was someone. You had to know this woman was someone, because you are meeting her in an app that you signed up for that is for high profile people. If you go to Simone Biles' Instagram page, her bio says Olympic gold medalist. So we don't even have to refer to the tweets that he made when he was a teenager, saying he don't really follow gymnastics. How many lies did we catch him in just in that short amount of time? We saw it. But Ryan is the one who asked the messy question. He's the one who set Jonathan up for the viral moment they wanted. So it's safe to say you didn't want Simone Biles? Are you trying to say you didn't want Simone Biles? So what you're trying to say is, because the question was, how the fuck did you bag an Olympic gold medalist and you're this mediocre athlete who went to a no-name school and nobody knew who the fuck you were, and you had to work, and nobody still didn't notice you until you attached yourself to a world-renowned athlete. And you want to act like you didn't know who the fuck she was, nigga. You are a liar. Lifting his eyebrows and bucking his eyes. Yeah, she had to get me. I'm the catch. Knowing how dumb you sound. But we have gaggles and groups of women who will affirm your delusion, fellas. They are out here, honey, letting y'all believe that you are the motherfucking prize. Right? You're the prize. You're the prize. I always feel like a man is the prize. Don't be mad that you went viral the wrong way. Y'all wanted a viral, y'all got viral. Because at the end of the day, why were you interviewing Jonathan Owens? What has he done in order for you to interview him? What did he do for you to say, oh, this would be a good person to interview? What did he do? He married Simone Biles. That is the only reason why you're interviewing him. Otherwise, you would have never interviewed Jonathan Owens. Let's keep it real. And this is the gaslight. That is exactly gaslighting. We're not going to play these games with you niggas out here. We're not going to play these games. Ninja, you said, so what you saying is you didn't even want Simone Biles. So, sir, you're the bigger problem here, trying to lead him into answers. I said it before and I say it again. He's not innocent. I see nothing but hate and jealousy in this comments. Y'all always worrying about the next person's relationship. And this is what I told somebody on Twitter when they said, why are y'all worried about somebody else's relationship? The basis of this whole thing and how we understand human behavior is by analyzing strangers. We talk about human behavior every single day. We talk about human behavior as it relates to intimate partnerships, as it relates to relationships between women. Yes, we're going to see the same things over and over and over again because nothing under the sun is new. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. It's sociology to look at and use public figures as examples of what we would see in a larger scale if we just expanded the scope. Why y'all so worried about these people's relationships? Because we're using them as examples, because those people going through what they're going through are not the only people going through what they're going through. We have seen women over and over and over again, overachieving women, excellent women, partner with men who exactly? Who? And then all of a sudden, in order to make him feel like something, what does she do? Make him her what? Manager. We know what it is. So when y'all come out and act like it's not what it is, it's time for us to stop playing these games and stop playing in each other's faces and saying what it is. You threw that to him and he answered, I'm the prize. Y'all asked him that question because you wanted to know, how can this person leading up to you've asked him about his career and how he was insecure and how he didn't have he looked for other people to give him motivation. He didn't have the self-motivation. Oh, we watched the interview, sir, and then leading up to that, and then you ask this mediocre dude who is not recognizable, nobody knows who the F he is, and you wouldn't be interviewing him if he hadn't married Simone Biles. Then you ask him, how the did you bag Simone Biles? Because, nigga, who is you? And then Simone Biles one day. And I like to talk about her because y'all always give her hell. And I don't, as you notice, I didn't even say anything about her, but her behavior. But her saying, well, one day he's going to be known as, right now he's known as Simone Biles' husband. Later he's going to be known as, I'm going to be known as Jonathan Owen's wife. I can't even say it because, girl, no. That is not happening anytime soon. Nothing he can do for the rest of his life will ever exceed what you have done in yours. So we're just going to keep it real. And that's what y'all don't like. Y'all don't like for people to keep it real because it ruins the fantasy. Y'all need to be in this fantasy. Y'all need to be in this fantasy, ironically. So we analyze human behavior. We look at how they relate to each other in partnerships and the dynamics in which they show up and how those partnerships play out. That's sociology, my dear. Analyzing strangers' lives. No, we are not all sociologists, but are based on experience and some of our studying. We are analyzing people's behavior and calling out what we have noticed. And just because we are calling out what we have noticed, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, a more accomplished woman with a man who is not as accomplished as she, her dimming her light in order to make him feel like something, and then him turning around and saying to the world that he is, I always think men are the catch. Not just him, he just thinks men are the catch. Yes, it's funny. It's hilarious. So we want to talk about it. We've seen this time and time again, and here's just another example. And no, we're not talking about Simone Biles, and no, we're not hating on Simone Biles. We are talking actually about the behavior of accomplished women and how they relate to their partners who are not as accomplished as they are, and how those relationships end up almost always playing out. So we're not going to sit up here and gaslight the situation. You put out a clip intent on provoking a reaction, likely to be the idea of what's going to be. However, now it's people's fault because the clip did not represent the totality of what he says. Sounds very irresponsible with no accountability. It's clear as day that Simone's prize is full of himself. He has female traits and it's unattractive. As a woman, to you to say that female traits in a man is unattractive is like you looking in the mirror and spitting at it. Do not use female traits on a man. Do not say and turn around and try to insult him by saying he has female traits. That's not smart. That's a self drag, right? But hey, that's her prize. If she like it, I love it. Merry Christmas. Let's see. They're a great couple and people are just hating because they didn't listen to the entire story. They just listened to the part where it looked like she was being the more aggressive one. And in this case, it seemed to work out. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a woman saying, this is what I want and this is what I like, and I'm going to make the first move. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, hey, girl, whatever however way you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. There is a way that he could have said everything that he said without making it seem like this woman was pursuing him. On top of him saying, I didn't know who she was. I just it is literally unbelievable. And then for men to be men, I haven't seen much from many women, but men to be in the comments saying it's it's likely that he would know who she was. It's likely, yeah, it would be likely had we not have tweets from when he was 17 or 18 years old talking about Gabby Douglas, who is her teammate, right? They're both on the U.S. Gymnastics team, right? Okay. Teammates. So you do know about gymnastics. You have an awareness of gymnastics. And she is not someone who has a face like a lot of other people. You may not know gymnastics. You may not follow football. You may not follow whatever sport, but the person who is the most awarded and decorated in that field are going to be on everything, especially if an athlete is definitely going to be everywhere, especially if they are winning gold medal after gold medal after gold medal after gold medal. She's actually going to be on cereal boxes. Yes. She's going to be in random commercials. Yes. She is going to, and Simone Biles does not, to me, does not have a face like another, like, oh, she just looks like any other black girl. She has a very distinctive face to me. Like, you look at her, you know, okay, you're on this app. And when you add all the variables, you're on this app for public figures, high profile public figures. You're trying to dating app. She has a bunch of followers. You don't go look, type in her name in that moment. If you went to see how many followers she had, you're going to put in her name, Simone Biles. You're on a high profile. You're not going to tell me you're that. And that is what is like, you're lying. And then you're trying to make it seem like you're the catch. You're trying to make it seem like she pursued you, and you're making it seem like you're literally the catch. And when we listen to your story and how it led up to you meeting her, you've been, and admittedly, mediocre. Nobody noticed you. Nobody knew who you were. And then when it's time to talk about how you are beneficial in her life, you start talking about her trauma. Oh, girl, I can't do it. Oh yeah, we watched the whole video, Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark. So that's it for that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I think it's funny that people think somebody is hating on them. Nobody is hating on them. We are all just talking about what we have witnessed in the past and what this is an example of. And here is another example of this. Here it is once again. Y'all can put all the filters. Oh, it's so wonderful and it's so great and they're so happy. Yes, that's wonderful. That's great. They're so happy. We hope, and thoughts and prayers that they last longer than the average. But what we're going to do also is, here is how you recognize when a woman is more accomplished than a man, what he does and how he behaves, especially when he's in a group of other men. And as he walked in the room, the other men they already start off making fun of him and stuff. They already start off the way that men relate to each other. And here we are. Is it raining? Oh my God. I thought I heard water. I was like, what? Amanda Seales shades Jonathan Owens as someone that plays football while defending Simone Biles. She told the truth. Amanda Seales basically said societal pressure will let a woman, or lead a woman into dimming all of who she is to make a man feel special. And this man, when you put them on paper next to each other, he does not measure up, period. And if you're looking, and it's her accomplishments. Why are you guys measuring her accomplishments? Because it shows a level of her character. Someone to excel at like this says something about their character and how hardworking they are. And for you to act like you don't know who that person is, it's like shitting on her. I don't care what y'all say. It is a way to humble women. And we are talking about it. Nobody's hating on Simone Biles. Nobody's hating on someone being married. And then the fact that y'all just single, you still think that's the problem. You still think you're the prize, so much so that you use a man and throw a man in a woman's face and say that she doesn't have one. That's your way of insulting her. So you have put value in this person. He sees the value in it, the same value that you have in it. And she doesn't have, a lot of people don't have this. They don't care about stuff like this. And yes, she can be married. Yes, she can be happy. But what we are noticing over and over again, we see examples of very successful women partnering with men who are not as successful as them, and how those relationships turn out. Good luck to them. Hopefully he is secure enough. Doesn't seem like he is, because based on that interview, he's been an insecure person who hasn't been as self-motivated as he should, and has sought motivation from external sources. And we're just going to talk about it. Brazilian woman, girl, did you hear this? Brazilian woman arrested for chopping off husband's manhood and flushing it down the toilet after allegedly sleeping with her 15-year-old niece. I said, well, I don't know. I don't see what the problem is. What's the problem? Somebody was like, well, what's the age of consent? They have to see if the age of consent, if it was a consensual relationship, what was the age of consent? And I had to just tell somebody in the comments, age of consent is not for grown men to be in relationship with teenagers. The age of consent is so that teenagers can consent to sex with each other while they're exploring their sexuality. It's not for grown men to be like, oh, they're 15 now, let me go try to date them. Like the way that they make it seem the age of consent is for. It's not for grown men, when grown men can finally access teenagers. It's for teenagers to consensually explore their sexuality with each other. And so many people think it's like, it's the borderline for when these grown men can start preying on these young girls and change their perception of men for the rest of their lives. A 34-year-old Brazilian woman has been arrested after confessing to chopping off her 39-year-old husband's penis and flushing it down the toilet during sex on her birthday. The incident happened after the woman learned that he allegedly was sleeping with her 15-year-old niece. According to local media, the woman, who has not been identified, turned herself into police in Atibaia, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, on December 22nd. She walked into the police station, said, "Good evening, I'm turning myself in. I cut off my husband's penis." While being interrogated, she told them how everything went down. She began by seducing her husband. And once he got into the bed, she tied up his arms and legs with underwear. Once he was bound under her control, she then pulled out a razor and started chopping away at the man's fully erect penis. Local media reported the woman then took a photo of the severed organ before she went to the bathroom and flushed it down the toilet. After the woman turned herself into the police, she told them she had flushed the penis away, and she had heard it was possible to reattach it after dismemberment. The husband was eventually found alive and rushed into the hospital with his current health condition unknown. The woman has since been arrested and charged with suspicion of attempted murder. Can you kill somebody by chopping off their penis? Can they die from? Can somebody die for that? From that? Can you? I mean, I guess if the loss of blood, maybe, but I didn't know that it's like a life threatening. I mean, Lorena Bobbitt, John Wayne Bobbitt, he got his thing off. She threw it out. She ran down the road and threw it out the window and tossed it out the window. They lucky the animal didn't eat it. Oh, girl. The age of consent in Brazil is 14, and the police are looking to determine if it was a consensual relationship. Consensual? That's disgusting. Somebody said, and why was she arrested? If they don't free this woman and lock that man up, they should always be the first part of a man's punishment when they do unthinkable things to children. Why is the age of consent 14? It's for children. It's not for men. I notice ain't no men in these comments. All women, pay attention to every man in your life, ladies, including your man. It's wicked out here. Are they really asking if it was consensual? 14 is a child. No child would want to consensually have sex with a 40-year-old man. Exactly, you nasty Worms. Ugh. Ugh. Somebody said, I'm sure it wasn't much to cut. Girl, hope they find it. Girl, they said a Tesla robot reportedly attacked an engineer at their Texas facility during a malfunction. Girl, it says in a shocking incident at Tesla's is it Giga Texas factory near Austin, the Tesla engineer was attacked by a malfunctioning robot, leaving him with injuries and raising concerns about safety of automated robots in the workplace. Girl, the incident witnessed by two horrified colleagues definitely highlights the need for increased precautions and safety measures to ensure the well-being of employees working alongside robots before really implementing them into the workplace. I feel like there's going to be more of that. I do. Now, what the heck happened? Well, according to the witnesses, the engineer was attacked by a robot designed to handle and transport freshly cast aluminum car parts. While two of the robots were disabled so that the engineer and his crew could work on the machines, a third was inadvertently left on, resulting in the attack 2 years ago. Witnesses told the information. It was said that the robot unexpectedly pinned the engineer who was programming software for another disabled robot nearby. Maybe he thought you were messing with the other robots and he got mad. The machine's metal claws penetrated the engineer's back and arm, resulting in a trail of blood across the factory floor. The victim suffered an open wound on his left hand, as documented in the 2021 injury report filed with the Travis County and federal regulators. Wow. Let's read a couple of comments. Will Smith told us in iRobot, not Will Smith. Y'all think, ooh, let's see, the battery's running low. We're almost finished. Y'all think movies are entertainment, they're educational. Will Smith tried to tell us years ago, this happened almost 3 years ago, and now it's being released. That's insane. So basically, when Tesla was making all the noise about new car, a robot pinned an engineer. I mean, they tried to tell us in the movies for the past decade. It's only a matter of time. Y'all keep trying to replace humans. This country is going to be fucked. Robots don't pay taxes. Robots don't shop for goods. Robots don't shop for food. There will be no GDP growth and the economy will crash. Y'all think the store looting is bad now? Give it 5 years. Why would a robot that's made specifically to do labor have any option to be violent? That's just silly. Unfortunately, these robots learn and adapt. Musk said that AI is more dangerous than we think. Y'all have not seen the Terminator. Yeah, y'all need to watch the Terminator, honey. That's crazy. You gotta be more careful. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to say about that. That's the world that we're living in. I was reading in The Great Cosmic Mother the way that men have have created this society and have ruined this society and wants to make it this automatic, overproducing, over consuming machine just to deplete the mother and keep depleting the mother until it's trying to ultimately kill the mother. And it's in everything. It's literally in everything. Kill the mother, kill the mother, kill the mother. Harm the woman, harm the woman, harm the female. It's real. Y'all think it's deeper than intimate partnerships. It's fucking real, yo. It really is. The way that they produce milk, just in the way that they produce milk from cows for the dairy industry, and how they treat the mother, the cow, right? And when you think about it, it's like attaching these machines and just keep, impregnating them, and so they can produce more milk and produce more milk. It's really sad when you think about it. Um, it says, I want to read it. I want to read that part. It's raining outside. I want to read that part about how animals are treated and how this is the way of the world, and it's really sad and nobody realizes it. Under patriarchal animal breeding, the animal mothers, cows, sows, hens, are reduced to mechanical units of mass production in grotesque denial of the motherhood and the laws of healthy growth. Few people realize that cows have to be subjected to early pregnancy so that milk, cheese, and cream that form a substantial part of the diet of the lacto-vegetarians and meat eaters, the majority of the population in the Western world, may be produced. Hardly any cows in the dairy herd are allowed to suckle their calves for more than 3 days, if at all. The calves are then reared by hand. Cattle are highly intelligent, and attachment between calf and mother is particularly strong. The calves, the inevitable byproduct of these continuous pregnancies, if male go to slaughter almost immediately to be made into veal. The rennet used to make the most commercial cheeses has been taken from the stomach of a newly born calf, and 80% of the beef industry is a byproduct of the dairy industry. The modern dairy cow leads a life of hell in continuous childbirth, made painful by the cow's unnatural lifestyle and forced passivity, separation from her calf, pregnancies, and being milked all through the years. The mass antibiotics injected into commercial animal feed also remain in the meat, leading to wide-scale disruption of the helpful bacterial growth in the human intestine, not to mention all the other chemicals, flavorings, preservatives, and colored dyes pumped in to make something long dead seemingly freshly killed. If we are what we eat, then are we when we eat foods produced in these ways? What are we when we eat foods produced in these ways? And that's under patriarchy. It's just over, kill the mother, but give her as well, kill her, but also have her mass produced for you. That's why these abortion laws are running like this. They want women to keep having babies. They want to promote marriage. They want you to get married. They want you to have babies. They want you to have unplanned pregnancies. They want all of that. That's why you have to be careful. It's real. It is real. And this is the world we live in. Oh, who built the railroads and the power grids? You act like women are not working alongside of these men. And that's so weird to me. And it just proves that you're just regurgitating something because you live in a world that has told you that something is great about you, and you've been pumped with a false idea of self. And that's the reason why so many men suffer from NPD, because this world has created this idea that you're so important, like literally believing that you're better just because you're white, just because you're male, just because you're heterosexual, just because you're Christian, and just because you're thin. You think you're better than, just because of those things, and how shallow those things are. And men of all walks of life have this idea under a system of patriarchy that just because they exist as men, that this is their role. And they have ruined this earth, ruined it, ruined it, and continue to ruin it. And then at the same time, blame a woman. After everything that's wrong in this patriarchal society can be blamed, will be blamed, and is blamed on a woman. This is the world that we're in. That's why they think they're the prize. Because you've been sold this idea. Tired of talking. Kanye West issues out an apology for his anti-Semitic and in Hebrew. I sincerely apologize to the Jewish community for any unintended outbursts caused by my words and actions. Your forgiveness is important to me. It was not my intention to hurt or disrespect, and I deeply regret any pain I may have caused. I am committed to starting with myself and learning from this experience to ensure greater sensitivity and understanding in the future. Your forgiveness is important to me, and I'm committed to making amends and promoting unity. Funny how he won't apologize to the black community because you ducks will continue to support him. Boy, them Jews make a nigga apologize quick. They don't play, honey. Him writing this in Hebrew is literally insane. Kanye basically said, y'all black folks finna wait another 300 years before you get an apology from me. As for the Jews, let me apologize a few more times. Why are celebrities so afraid of this community? What hold do they have over y'all? Bitch, the first reply underneath said it's a long story. Because he knows they blocking him from doing anything. That's why there are Jewish people everywhere in Hollywood. This could be a business deal he wanted to do and they blocked because that's the only way he would come and apologize. So basically, never say anything about the Jewish community, even if it's true. Can we apply the same rule to the black people, please? Because I'm tired, sincerely, a 53-year-old black man. He realized there's a difference between signs the front of the check and who signs the back of the check. Ooh. And then they wrote anti-semantic in the thing. That's why I was like, what, anti-semantic instead of anti-Semitic? Y'all need to read these things. Who is the proofreader down to the who is this? The neighborhood talk. Who's the proofreader down to the neighborhood talk, child? Y'all need to proofread these things. Let's see what else they have on the neighborhood talk. Oh, we have to go. Oh yeah, we have to go because this battery is dying. Oh, Kevin Hart is suing Tasha K for extortion after she allegedly told him she won't release a damaging interview if he paid her $250,000. Kevin Hart's assistant spills the tea with Tasha K and reveals the alleged unseen reality with Kevin's team, including gambling problems, work flings, and more. Neighbors, this is from Neighborhood Talk. Tasha K is in more legal trouble. According to the blast, Kevin Hart is suing Tasha for trying to extort him for $250,000, girl. In legal documents obtained by the blast, Kevin Hart claims Tasha K sent a representative from her blog to Kevin's team in November 2023, saying that she had an interview with Kevin's former assistant, Maisha Sheikh. And if he didn't want the damaging interview to come out, that he would have to cough up $250,000. Honey, I would have. If you're gonna do it, you should have asked him for at least $4 million. Anyways, it says that he then sent Tasha a cease and desist, saying that she did not have permission to discuss any story about him, and he wouldn't be paying her money. Tasha then posted a snippet of the exclusive interview on her page, a move that Kevin and his legal team looked at as a threat. They believe that Tasha was attempting to send a message that if the money wasn't paid, she would release the entire interview. You have already engaged in criminal conduct and notorious acts that would entitle Mr. Hart to monetary damages against you should he elect to commence legal litigation regarding this matter. To the extent that you do not cease and desist now, your liability for such monetary damages will increase, as will your exposure to criminal penalties. Girl. Kevin also stated in the lawsuit that anything Sheikh would implicate her because she had to sign an NDA during her employment. Girl. Mm. Legal eagles out there. Can you let me know, is it true that NDAs do not cover criminal activity? Or things are like, does it, can you put in there something that like a morality clause? I didn't think that NDAs covered criminal activity. If you witness criminal activity, you can break an NDA, right? That's what I thought. You legal eagles, get down there and let me know what it is. Anyways, y'all, let's go. Take care of each other, protect your energy, honey. I wanted to talk about Taraji P. Henson a little bit, but the battery is dying on this phone. So we'll just talk about it tomorrow. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.